Hello, my sweet friends. Today, the only thing you are going to need is this exciting material right here. And I know you're thinking two things. One, why can we hear yard work in the background? I don't know. It's a neighbor. That's all I got for you. Number two, are you sure that you mean crayons? Are you sure that crayons are exciting? Yes, I do. I think that sometimes we get stuck that the first way that we use something is the only way that it can be done. So I know that most of you, like me, just learned that when you had something, you can draw with crayons and you can color in, right? And that's still true. It's still true, promise. But it's not the only thing that crayons do. So today, what I'd like for you to do is grab some crayons, grab a piece of paper, and you may even want to grab a pencil or a marker because we're going to be writing a few words, okay? And I'm going to show you all the cool things that the crayons are going to do. The first thing that you're going to do is you're just going to need your hands and you're going to be folding. So I want to take my paper and fold the bottom to the top. I'm going to try to make a really careful fold. Don't just smack it down. I'm going to try to line up those corners. Oh, there we go. Hold it with one hand. Squish, squash with the other hand. Okay. This might be a little tricky, but I know you can do it. We're going to do that fold again. Bottom to top. Squish, squash. You got it. And then open it up. Woohoo! You should see 4 parts, 3 folds. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. 1, 2, 3 folds. Okay. You're going to make one more baby fold and then you're all done with folding. This time we're going to go bottom to top again, but you might notice I turned my paper so it really is kind of side to side. So do you see, my cute little people, that you've got 8 sections? Cool. You're going to be writing some words. So when you see that I've got all of my words written, you might want to press the space bar or press pause so that you can catch up. The first word that we are going to write is value. Value means the lightness or the darkness of a color. The second one that we're going to write is hatching. We are not talking about an egg hatching. We are talking about how an artist might move their material sometimes. The third word that we are going to write, let's put that right below, is cross hatching. And I'm going to let you guess what that might be after you see us do hatching. Let's go ahead and scooch on over here and we are going to do a twist. You might be able to see a twist in Miss Downing's PE class. The 5th word that we are going to write is blending. You might know what that means. We're on box number 6 and we are going to write resist. Our one down here is going to be scratch through, and through is a crazy spelled word. And then we're just going to write color. Okay. So I'm going to stop right here for just a second. Now would be a good time for you to press pause so that you can catch up with those words. Welcome back. Now, if you want to draw lines where you've got your folds, you absolutely can do that. Sometimes we like to do that to know where one rectangle will start and the other one will stop. This is one of these fun things that I love having time for, but we just don't have time in the art room sometimes. It's good for us to sometimes just play around with our materials and figure out how stuff works, and that's what we're going to do today. So I want you to choose any colors that you want to choose. Yours do not have to match mine. For this very first one, maybe choose a darker color. So pink is not going to be your best friend for this one, and neither is white. But anything like green, blue, purple, brown, black, or red is going to be great. I'm even going to choose maybe a darker pink. So value just means the lightness or the darkness of a color. So if I'm coloring something in, I might want some areas to be darker and some areas to be lighter. So if I have a circle, for example, if I have an area that's dark down here, I'm going to press really hard. I might even have to go back over it a couple times. And this is where you're using all of those good hand strength muscles. Got to press really, really, really hard. You might see them kind of moving in like a little bit of a, almost looks like a smile. But as I work up towards the top, I'm going to start getting a little bit softer. I'm still working in that curve, and a little bit softer, and a little bit softer. And all of a sudden, this doesn't really look like a circle anymore. It almost looks like I drew a ball. It almost looks like I drew a sphere. You can make things go from light to dark, and you can make things look three-dimensional just by changing the value. And that is something that is really cool. So right beside of that, maybe I'm going to choose another dark one, and I'm going to press really hard, and I'm going to scribble, and then I'm going to start getting lighter and lighter and softer and softer and softer. Okay, and that is a good way to show the value that you have when you color. That, to me, probably one of the most important ones. Okay. When we do hatching and cross hatching, it's going to make it look like it's got some texture. So if I wanted to color maybe, let's say just an area of grass, I might not want to color just straight back and forth green. If I did that, it might make it look like my grass is really flat. But I don't want my grass to be flat. I don't want to make it look like it just looks like a big blanket. I might want to do some marks like this. Oops. And now I've got two. That's hatching. Another way to hatch is diagonally. Well, if we know that that's hatching and we leave some space in between each of those lines, you probably know what cross hatching is. So let's take, for example, that grass that we did before, and that was hatching. Well, that's going to kind of make sense that we could do cross hatching, which means you're going across the first group of lines that you drew. And it almost makes it look like it's woven together, especially if you have two really different colors. Hatching, cross hatching. Cool. Okay. The twist is one of my favorite ones. This makes almost a perfect bow. It's the craziest thing. So we've taken crayons before with no paper on them, and we've laid them down flat, and we've done crayon rubbings. Perfect. What you do this time is you hold it down, and you've got to really press down hard, and you twist your crayon. Boom. You can't do these unless your crayon is naked. It has to have the paper off. Okay. Blending. So blending is a little bit like value times 2. So we want to start with doing some value of one color. Oh, this is one of my favorite colors. And I'm going to get a little bit lighter. Okay. And now I'm going to work in the other direction, dark to light. So I went dark to light this way with one color. I'm going to go dark to light this way with another color, and let's see what happens. I'm going to choose a color that's not too different. Ooh la la, I really like that. So you can see even just with those 2 crayons, I still have blue, I have some like darker green inside of here, and I have some lighter green. Love, love, love. You can really combine a lot of different colors with blending. Okay. Resist. You're gonna need 2 materials for this. And the first that you're gonna need is a crayon. And you can use any crayon, but it's gonna work best for me to show you how this works if I use a white crayon on white paper. You might be thinking, hey lady, we aren't gonna see that. I know you aren't gonna see it, but it will show up in just a second. Sometimes I press so hard I break crayons, but it's okay because they still work. And then if I'm sharing with someone, then we have 2 I can share. Oops, see, told you. Okay, you might be able to see just the tiniest bit. You're gonna need to get some sort of paint. And I have watercolors at my house and I have a water brush in my house. You could just use a regular paintbrush and water and that would be fine. I'm gonna get a little bit of paint and you want it kind of watery on your paintbrush and you're gonna go over everything. Resist works best when you've really pressed very hard with your crayon. Oh my gosh, love it. I can remember the first time I saw this and I thought it was absolute magic. So the wax in the crayon doesn't want to hold on to the water in the paint. It resists it. It says, go away, I don't like you. So that's how that works. Okay. Scratch through. So this is another one where it's going to take some strength and some muscles. And you can use any colors you want to, but you're going to be making 2 layers. Okay. I would not use black quite yet because that's going to be your top layer. Ooh, I like this bright yellow. It's kind of fun. Oops, I'm telling you. I must have had a good breakfast this morning to be so strong and breaking all these crayons. So now I'm going to try to find a black and I'm going to color over everything. It doesn't have to be black, but I find that black tends to work the best for me. And I'm going to do my best not to break this one. But if it happens, it's okay. You're going to go over everything. Oh, I already did it. Sometimes I find that when I stand up, it's easier for me to press down. With my crayons. And I can color really fast and really hard because I've had a lot of practice and my hands are bigger and I've got more muscles in my hands. So you don't have to go as quickly as I'm going. You don't have to worry about that. So I'm pretty close to not being able to see any color. You can still see a little bit in there. Okay. So now here's the fun part. You get to scratch through and reveal the color that's underneath. You want to try to find some sort of sharp instrument, and not super sharp, not like a knife or anything crazy, but it could be like a ballpoint pen that doesn't work anymore. It could be a colored pencil. It could be anything like that that's going to work for you. And I've got a colored pencil right here. So I'm going to scratch through the black. To reveal the color underneath. Here's the cool thing. If you messed up on any part of this, guess what you can do to fix it? Get your black crayon back, color over it, and you can keep going again and again and again. Cute. And now we are to the last block, and it is the same exact place that we started, which is just plain old coloring, because that is still a really great thing to do. But maybe now you see there's different things that you can do when you're coloring. Maybe you want to blend a little bit more. And this way, you've got choices. And we always love choices. Have a great day.